welcome. All the way from Canada, right? Representing Canada, yes. And of course from South Korea, right? Thank you so much for coming here. And so we will begin this panel with a little self-introduction from each of our guests today. Maybe starting from our Korean shorts twins. So today we have Chang-gyu Kim, right? Is that right? Yes, okay. All right, welcome. Okay. Yes.
안녕하세요. 저는 한국에서 온 김창규라고 합니다. 안녕하세요.
Hello everyone, I'm Kim Chang-gyu from South Korea.
Yes, welcome. Do we say annyeong? Is it annyeong? Annyeong, yes, annyeong to you as well. Can we all say annyeong together? 1, 2, 3. Annyeong. Yes, warm welcome to you. Thank you for coming to our panel. Yes. So could you tell us a little bit about the film?
이제 제가 촬영한 이제 트윈즈라는 작품 같은 경우에는 쌍둥이 사이에서 이제 창규라는 캐릭터가 이제 갈등을 하는 그런 장면인데요. 민호랑은 원래 만나던 사이였다가 이제 민호와의 갈등으로 힘들어하는 창규가 다시 민호를 만나게 되는 계기를 짧게 담은 영화입니다.
So the film I acted in was called Twins, and it is about a broken up couple, Chang-gyu and Minho, who had some conflicts, and it is about the two people.
Okay, that's wonderful, and I'm sure it was a very memorable film. We heard some laughters in the audience while, you know, some of the special scenes were happening, right? Very memorable. Yes, so can you tell us, like, how did it all begin? How did you get involved? How did the film come together?
처음에 제이가 왔었을 때 창규가 바라보는 민호는 정말 안정적인 연애를 원하는 느낌이었고, 창규가 바라보는 민철은 뭔가 본인이 원하는 연나잇이라든가 그런 자극적인 그런 거를 표현한 거라고 생각을 했어서 뭔가 너무 미화되지도 않은 현실적인 모습을 담았다고 생각이 들어서 한번 해보고 싶었습니다.
The first time I got this script, I was inspired by how this story is realistic in a way, and also Min-chul, this character, is presenting some kind of desire. So I think the story is very interesting, and I would like to participate.
Well, it was a lovely participation. Obviously, you fit the role really well. But I have a question at the back of my head at this moment. Are they really twins? Those two guys?
No, it's
one person. Oh, it's only one person. And yes, I actually know this, but yes, only one person. And the actor is actually in Hong Kong now. He is in Hong Kong. And coincidentally, though, he has a musical theater performance, a Korean, where he's performing at 8 p.m., you know, the shopping mall, Kwun Tong. So his co-star is in Kwun Tong 8 p.m. performing a musical. So yes, thank you very much. And next, of course, we have our friend from Canada, who is of Afghan cultural origins.
Yeah.
So it's assalamu alaikum to you. Alexander Jan, right?
Yes.
You guys say that as well, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yes, welcome. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. My name is Alexander Farah. I'm coming from Vancouver, Canada. I'm the writer and director of One Day This Kid, which was the short film that ends with the car voicemail scene. We watched a lot of films, so I don't know if everyone can keep track. And it was, it's a film that was inspired by my experiences growing up in Canada as a gay Afghan male. And it was inspired also by a poem by a Polish-American artist in the early 90s. It was also called One Day This Kid. It's a poem that depicts the lifetime of a young man, a gay man growing up in a society that rejects him. And I just remember reading this poem and thinking about my life and my own moments and memories of that felt pivotal to me discovering my own queerness, and I wanted to use a film like this, like a fast-paced film that travels through time quite fluidly to explore the origins of my own queerness and then what it means to be out, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite an impactful story because, especially the fact that we had a conversation the other day about not having many films coming from that place in the world. Like, I mean, people representing Afghanistan. I mean, Canada has a lot of films, but the migrants from Afghanistan and people from Afghanistan as well. So I think it's quite, you know, quite a striking imagery as well, and seeing the cultural elements in it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but can you tell us how did it all begin in the first place?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I had read this poem like 5 or 6 years ago. Again, the poem called One Day This Kid, and that's when I had to look it up to see if anyone had made a film about it before, because it felt like something that I thought, or at least a commercial or something, using this poem as a voiceover, and no one had done that. So then that's where I just felt like compelled to create something. And originally I thought that I was going to make a film that uses the poem as a voiceover, but the more and more that I started to interrogate my own past and my experiences, I felt like I didn't really need the voiceover or the poem, and the film was kind of becoming more my story and less about the poem itself.
Thank you very much. And then jumping across the Asian continent all the way to Southeast Asia, we have representatives from the Philippines. I think some people from the audience are also from the Philippines. Thank you for, I assume, you know, that's just my assumption, right? But yes, are there any in the audience? Yes, a few. Any people from Canada? Oh yes. Oh, Canada, at least we have anyone representing South Korea? Yeah. Yes. Okay, at least someone represents you as well, you know? Yeah, different people. So yes. Can you tell us about yourself? So we have director Joshua over here, and we have Mr. Raven over here. Yes. So maybe starting from director Joshua.
Hello, mabuhay. I'm director Joshua De Vera from At Least We Had This Moment, the last film. And you, may actor.
Hello everyone, I'm Vera Rigor. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Yeah.
Magandang gabi din sa inyo. Okay, yes. So, you can tell us about yourself, maybe your, you know, where you come from, or like how did it all begin, or tell us about the film. Just, you know.
So, background with the film, it's my, I made that as a student, and that's one of my last student film. Also, the backstory, I think, is after my first ever breakup, part of my healing is to obviously write about it. And the layer of the story about them going from one place to another is me trying to reclaim the spaces that I have shared with my partner. Because after we broke up, I felt like I also broke up with my places that I used to go to. Like I felt like I lost a safe place with me. So with this film, I tried to reclaim it, discover the sparks again from these places. And yeah, through this queer love of Dino and Vince, I think you can elaborate more about what is the story all about.
Okay. Maybe starting from who is Raven, because obviously not everybody here might know who Raven Rigor is. So.
Hello everyone, I'm Raven Rigor and I'm a Filipino actor. At Least We Had This Moment is a very special film for me, and it's about journeying in third spaces. And for me, a third space is a place outside of work and your home, where you feel safe and deeply resonates with you. And I think everyone has a third space. And it's about a photographer. His name is Dino, and he met a tour guide named Vince. And yeah, it's about journeying. It's mostly about journeying. And I think I'm a yearner as well. So yearning is not just missing someone. It's also recognizing the deep feelings that you didn't know you had. And it's about it enables you to explore your emotions, it fuels you to self-reflect. And in our generation, I think it's not very embarrassing to yearn, unlike before. And it's not just I forgot.
It's mostly about yearning because queer love, I think in this generation, it's very fleeting. So in this film, we aim to recognize that how we are such a bunch of yearners, queer people in terms of relationship. We yearn to be, we yearn for a lot of things, acceptance. We yearn for a love that's gonna last. But yeah, in this film, we recognize the type of relationship that's just fleeting. So you just aim to savor or cherish the moments that you have with a special someone.
I think that is definitely quite a profound statement, because that is something generationally speaking, a lot of Gen Z and millennials are starting to have more of the liberty and privilege to actually travel around and go around. And you know, there's the advancement of technology, so there's dating apps, and all of this kind of leads to the flourishing of holiday romances. So that is something that I'm sure a lot of queer and even non-queer people can definitely relate to. That's why it does leave a very deep impression. And of course, one thing in common that all of you have is, from our perspective, me and Henry as curators, we perceive that there is the very strong element of the boy love, or which is what we call BL. However, to some extent, I do think that we might have our own interpretation of what is a BL or boy love. And that could also differ, regionally speaking, culturally speaking. And this is kind of based on research as well, like Thailand and so on, Korea. Now I'd like to hear it from you. How do you define BL from your artistic perspective? Maybe starting from, yes, Alex. I'm going to throw you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've only heard BL or boy love in an East Asian context, so I don't even know, I don't necessarily, I think in a gay culture that centers sex and attraction and a bit vapid and shallow, I think my interpretation or my understanding of boy love is that it showcases a softer side of gay male intimacy, something that feels more tender and intimate and romantic perhaps. But again, I'm no expert or anything, so I would be more curious to hear what these fine fellows have to say.
And maybe Joshua can, may have some thoughts on this.
Actually, BL as a genre is very, very profound. No one could even describe it straightforwardly. But as an Asian country, we have a lot of BL and a lot of audience for it. So in a nutshell, I believe as a genre, BL is trying queer people or two men and romance coexisting. So that's the basic definition. So we're trying to make romance and seeing two guys just coexist, and it's usually go beyond that on what we describe BL for day, because there's this question of, are there just two guys, or are they really queer? Are they just gay for each other, or are they really gay? So that's what queer people, or especially queer filmmakers, are trying to reclaim. Presenting two guys on screen, you should represent more about the struggle and the realities of queer people are facing. So reclaiming in a sense that we don't get to sensationalize our story just for pleasure of those who just want to see two cute guys being in love, but not recognizing the queerness and the struggle as a queer person is facing beyond inside that relationship. So I think BL just started, basically BL just started of two guys having a relationship, And in this generation, I think we are seeing the diversity of the stories and also presenting more the queer side of it, the realities of it, not just the fantastical side of this utopia that everyone just accept two guys being in a relationship, because in reality it's not just in our country. I believe there's a lot of countries that are still facing this kind of struggle, being accepted as a couple in public.
Maybe to Chang Yu Kim. Yes.
이제 한국에서도 BL은 보이스러브라는 단어의 줄임말로 많이 사용하고 있고요. 근데 대신에 BL이라고 하면 한국에서는 조금 시청자들이 보고 싶어 하는 좀 남자들의 모습에서 좀 여성분들이 좋아하는 모습, 아니면은 조금 어떻게 보면 판타적인 조금 남자끼리의 좋은 모습만 보여주려는 미화적인 부분에 대해서 보여지는 것 같아요. 현실적인 게 들어가시면 아무래도 조금 깊어질 수도 있다 보니까 좀 시청자들이 좋아하는 남자들의 모습을 담은 게 조금 한국의 BL이지 않을까 싶습니다.
So BL in Korea is also very commonly used as boys love, this term, and in Korea it is normally a genre that used to fulfill this what female audiences loves to see, two boys falling in love, and so in general BL films are more catered to female audiences rather than talking about some realistic issues about queer and struggles.
So I guess you have a lot of female fans, do you, is it?
아무래도 maybe.
Maybe. Okay, how about in terms of portion? How many percent is male? How many percent is female? Do you have an estimate?
It's woman 6, men 4.
6-4. So 6 men. Wait, 6 female, 4 men.
6 woman is 4 men.
Okay, so 60% is women, 40% is male. Okay, that's good to know. Now that we've opened the Pandora's box about culture, we can jump straight to maybe One Day This Kid. Like, you can talk about Canada's gay scene. How does the socio-cultural phenomenon, for Alexander, how does the values and trends influence the way you portray the scenes that you've projected on the short film?
For me, I think I was just interested, and it's sort of this idea that, like, I think there's this utopic idea of, like, being out and then everything is like rainbows and butterflies, and I think that in queer cinema there's a current trend towards, like, unapologetically queer characters that just happen to be gay, but their sexuality isn't really driving the plot, which I love to consume. But I think, like, for me, I feel like I had to make this film almost to come out as well. I just wanted the opportunity to explore my own queerness, and it was important to show that, like, even after coming out, there's still this haunting past that comes with family and your experiences, and sometimes an estranged relationship with your parents or siblings. A lot of gay male friends that I have all have very challenging and strange relationships with their own fathers, and a lot of us don't talk about that, but it feels like it's a lot of unprocessed intergenerational stuff for each queer person. So that's what I wanted to comment on.
So now that you've mentioned about like the cultures in where based on your upbringing, and I think this leads to the kind of like the limelight for us to talk about maybe more about explain about our cultures, okay? Because I think our audiences here may not have a clear sense of idea what is gay youth culture. I mean, because it's a boy. What is gay youth culture? In the countries that we represent, for example, South Korea, Philippines, and Canada, or even Afghanistan.
Yeah, I mean, my family's from Afghanistan, but I've not spent time there, so I don't necessarily have like a finger on the pulse.
Were you born there or?
Born there, but it's been I was only there for a few years before moving to Vancouver, so my experiences don't exist, but from what I understand, I think that like in my culture, for example, like it's prohibited, like you can die for any sort of display of queerness or homosexuality. It's, you know, it's not common for Muslim people to be homosexual, but I think from what I've seen in Western contexts like the USA and Canada, there are queer Muslims that exist and have found ways to validate their own identities, but from my understanding in Afghanistan, like men who have sex with men do so because the availability of women, like there's a puritanical preservation that comes to women, and I think men, when two men have sex, like there's a frivolity, and it's casual, and it's like it's not hurting anyone. There's no risk of pregnancy or anything. I think that the attitudes towards that in Afghanistan are quite different to a Western context, but again, limited because I'm not there.
No, I mean, because of the cultural connections now. I mean, I'm a bit familiar with Bachabazi, right?
Yeah.
So Bachabazi is like, how do you perceive its connection to maybe boy love or queerness in Afghanistan?
I think Bachabazi, which is like it's like a subpopulation of Afghanistan where older men have sex with like younger boys, and I think that the problem, like I wouldn't want to discuss that right now just because I think it conflates, and I think in the West people do this too, but sometimes there's this conflation of pedophilia and homosexuality that is a little problematic to talk about, but yeah, I see what you mean in that direction.
Alright, so now maybe for Korea, how is the youth gay culture in your country?
한국에서는 사실 청소년 때는 부모님이나 친구들한테 말을 거의 잘 못할 거라 SNS를 통해서 이제 같은 게이 친구들을 알아내게 되고 그 친구들과 얘기를 나눌 거예요. 아마 저도 사실 청소년 때에는 주변 친구들한테 말하지는 못했었기 때문에 지금 친구들은 사실 어떻게 생활을 하는지 모르겠지만 제가 바라보는 시점에서는 아직까지는 청소년들이 이제 본인의 성 정체성을 밝히기에는 그걸로 인한 위험 감수가 사실 너무 많기 때문에 아마 이제 SNS를 통해서 친구들을 만나고 그 친구들을 만남으로써 본인의 이런 감정 같은 거를 해소하지 않을까라고 생각합니다.
So from my perspective, I see that in Korea most youth don't really have the courage to reveal their sexuality, but they often like find some common friends who are also homosexual to talk about and communicate online, and they don't often tell their parents or friends in real life, so it also comes to Changju himself. So from his perspective, normally youths are not commonly coming out from there.
So this is from his experience, right? From his experience?
그렇기도 하지만 지금은 예전과는 많이는 달라졌어요. 한국도. 그렇지만 제가 학교 다닐 때까지만 해도 어떠한 친구가 이제 학교 친구들한테 커밍아웃을 했는데 그걸로 인해서 그 친구는 학교를 자퇴하는 상황까지 벌어지는 괴롭힘을 당하는 것도 예전에는 너무 당연시했습니다. 그렇지만 지금은 많이 그런 문화적인 거나 받아들이는 거나 많이 사람들이 이제 좀 그래도 존중해 주려고 하고 그렇구나 하겠지만 아직까지 그거를 공개적으로 말하기에는 한국은 아직은 어려운 부분이 있지 않을까.
So from my experience, when I went to school, there were people, the student who came out and got bullied and even quit school at last. So it was harder before, but for now, he thinks that it is more open and people are more accepting, but it is still not very common to come out very publicly in Korea.
Okay, that's understandable. And for the Philippines, like, how is the youth culture, queer culture like there?
Okay, to start with, I think queer people in the Philippines are more of tolerated than accepted. Yeah, it's prevalent that queer youth come out, but also it's still hard for others because we still faces some kind of discrimination. So I think we get to be accepted when we come out, but only to some extent because we still don't have laws to protect us. The law doesn't recognize same-sex union. So that's why if you come out, there's still friends or people that can understand, but the future ahead is not so sure because there's no laws that will protect us. So there's still news of discrimination, especially to trans people. So to some extent, I think it's also they accept you as long as you still look like a man, like you don't express yourself as a woman. So yeah, it's still a struggle to us, and that's why we still continue to rally for our rights there. So
just to add to what Josh said, it's still not widely accepted, the community, but on a more positive note, I think there's a lot of progress, given that there's social media and there are a lot of people fighting for the rights of the LGBT community, and I think we can only hope that it's gonna be on an uphill battle. Yes. Yeah, it still has a long way to go, but there's so much progress, I would say.
I think we can all expect to see the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. But then, now that you've mentioned Filipino culture, we're interested to know that for at least we had this moment. How do the plot and characters kind of reflect the modern day social realities of the Philippines? And while me and my colleague were discussing together, we do notice a significant, for example, a social class difference between the two. And I don't know if there's anything else that you would like us to know that we haven't quite noticed, maybe.
There's a lot of layers, but okay, I'll try to tone it down with a kick. So for at least we had this moment. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of struggles with queer love in the Philippines. So I have to recognize that queer love in general is fleeting. So you usually when you're into a relationship, the first thing that comes into mind until when will this last? So you would love to cherish and savor that very moment that you have with your partner. So in this film, that's why I took that inspiration with the places that I've been to as well as queer, because usually in house and in school, there's a lot of struggles with being queer. That's why we tend to find our third space as a safe space that we can express and discover ourselves. And another problem that we have these third places that we yearn for, but they're also disappearing. So due to the aggressive modernization in our country, there's a lot of places, queer hubs that are getting erased, being turned into a mall. So we get to have lost our spaces as well. So in this film, that's why we have this queer love that's fleeting, and also a place that's also fleeting because in reality the whole location of the film, which is Escolta, Manila, parts of it are about to get demolished. There's threats of being demolished. So, you know, even the places that these queer lovers go to, the future is not so sure as well. So I paralleled these two fleeting moments of queer love and also the places that's about to get lost. So that's why I presented the location, the Escolta, as quite a sort of a third character as well. So seems like you know, the merge of these three stories together, them and the places that they went. And also that's the major inspiration why we made this, because as I mentioned, they're about to get demolished. The future is not so sure about the place, so we aim to at least make a time capsule of the place, so that when the future is not so bright, we can go back with this movie and savor what we have captured to the places that we went.
And I'm sure we all remember the places, like the locations were very remarkable, the architecture, and people with some kind of like background knowledge, knowing Manila is a little bit kind of crowded. I don't like to use any strong negative phrasing to describe it, but it's not very positive in particular areas of Manila, but you've managed to capture it in such a magnificent way, and you know, we're very impressed. And those special scenes as well, the motorcycle scene, right? Okay, so maybe you can hear from Alex, right? You could tell us more about your choices for film location. Yes, there was the mosque as well, and many other places.
Yeah, a lot of those places were actually like places that like my elementary school and the mosque that I had went to when I was younger. So I pulled a lot from memory and sort of places that I had recalled these experiences in, like the gas station with the father. One thing was like there was a significance to the car, like the representation of the car in the film, because I think like as a young gay boy, I think I used to view like my father's car as such a symbol of like masculinity and strength and power. And I remember just like watching him pump gas, thinking that like I would never be able to do that. Like it just felt like the mechanism of, there was such a power and a strength there. And I think in North America there's so many jokes and there's so many memes about gay men not being able to like drive or parallel park or do anything like that. And I'm like, well, where does this come from? Is it like the origin stories of young boys who feel like a fright when they see like a stick shift or something like being handled by their father, who represents this sort of like heteronormative patriarch in a family. But yeah, the locations were pulled mostly from memory. So
do you think gay people are bad drivers?
Absolutely.
Okay. And maybe also for Chang-Yu as well. So obviously you've been to many locations. There was the club, the gay club, I think. There was the amusement park, you know, the roller coaster and everything. So there were many different places. So maybe you can tell us something about the inspiration for the locations in the film.
제가 직접적으로 사실 물어보지는 못했었지만, 근데 그 영상에 나오는 그 뭐 클럽이라든가 아니면 뭐 테마파크, 뭐 놀이공원 전부 다 이제 그래도 나름 딱 봤었을 때 유명한 곳들이거든요. 이제 놀이공원도 어떻게 보면은 커플들이 가장 많이 놀러가는 곳으로 갔었고, 게이클럽 같은 경우에도 이제 그때 당시에 사람들이 좀 자주 가던 곳으로 저희가 촬영지를 잡았었기 때문에 딱 보는 사람 입장에서 여기 거기 같은데 좀 흔한 느낌을 보여주고 싶었던 것 같아요. 왜냐면은 이제 그냥 특별하지 않고 일방적인 곳에서 우리도 데이트를 해보고 만날 수 있다. 이런 걸 보여주려고 하지 않았을까? 다 그냥 저의 개인적인 생각입니다.
I didn't actually ask the director about his choice, but I think that because the club and the theme park are places where usually couples go, so I think the director would like to present how gay couples are also like common couples who go to like places like that.
Have you seen any gay lesbian couples or queer couples that are holding hands or maybe display affection, skinship, kissing, you know, openly in Korea?
No.
That's interesting to know, all right? Because in Hong Kong, if you go to Causeway Bay, you see a lot on the street in Causeway Bay. That's where the young gay people are. Also Central, but that's more like the older district. And now to the actors, of course. The question here is maybe starting from Changyu, like Korean values, okay? Korean values, beauty and masculinity, because it's a very patriarchal society, and so. How does the cultural norms and the social standards of South Korea affect the way you develop your gay character in the short film Twins? Maybe I could rephrase it a little bit. So in Korea, it's like beauty. Everybody likes to be pretty, right? In Korea, beautiful boys, beautiful girls, fair skin. And then maybe also, but in Korea, the men like to be strong, right? They like to be manly, they like to be masculine. They don't like to be feminine. So I don't know if some of these social values or norms have affected the way you develop your character and show us as an actor. Yes.
우선은 제가 제대로 이해한 건지는 잘 모르겠지만 우선은 가장 기본적으로 아까 영화 내용에서도 나왔던 것처럼 남성이 뭐 예전에 사실 뭐 메이크업을 간단하게만 해도 제 개인가? 너 남잔데 화장 왜 해? 뭐 그런 느낌도 있을 건데 요즘에는 이제 한국에는 남성 브랜드가 나올 정도로도 이제 남성들도 뷰티에 되게 관심이 많고 뭐 정말 이 사람이 남자지만 남성적이냐 여성적이냐 그런 걸 떠나서도 사실 요즘에는 남자들도 그런 관리의 개념으로 따로 뷰티가 빠지기 때문에 그거도 제가 제대로 이해하고 말씀드린 건지 사실 잘 모르겠습니다.
I'm not very sure if I understand the question right, but in Korea, in the past, people, if they see men who like apply makeup and do a lot of skincare, they might think that this person is gay. But now, a lot of men also do like a lot of skincare or do some simple makeup, and people would see that as like a sense of self-care. So. It's quite common to like when men are presented more in so-called feminine way.
Well, I think that answers the question. So, I mean, that's what essentially what we see on the screen is kind of a reflection of a regular young Korean boy, how he would look like. So, yeah. Thank you. And for the Philippines, that the actor, so that's Raven. Well, the characters symbolize two different worlds. So I mentioned about social class. One, I assume might be from the lower class. One could be the middle or the upper class. then I'm wondering if, like, how were you inspired by your social and cultural surroundings when you developed your character as an actor?
My character, Dino, I think my character deeply resonated with me in a way that I think I see myself in Dino a lot, but unlike Dino, who's middle class, I didn't grow up in a middle class family, yeah. So in terms of dealing with emotions, I see myself
like, yung paano ka na-inspire sa yung sa mga social realities, ganun. Yung mga nangyayari sa Pilipinas, yung kultura, ganun. Paano ka na-inspire? Nung dinevelop mo yung character mo, ano yung, like, nanood ka ba ng mga films? Did you watch some films? Did you, did you observe people like that when you developed your character?
I think it's easy to resonate with Dino because it's also my first time in Escolta at the time, and it's my first time seeing something like this exists in the Philippines because, like you said earlier, there are a lot of negative comments about our country in terms of its beauty and aesthetic, but it felt new to me, but at the same time it felt close to my heart in a way because something about Escolta feels so familiar, and at the same time I had a hard time portraying the character, fleshing it out, but I just relied on to be exactly I became honest with how I portrayed it. My eyes, I think, yeah. My director said my eyes are powerful, and I held on to that because I still have a lot to improve on, and I just trusted what I can do in my director.
I'm sure we all have our faith in you, and to all the actors here today, now I'm wondering, although as an audience, obviously we stayed here, we listened to you, all of you have amazing, your inner voice does shine through your words, but I'm wondering, how did your family or friends perceive the films when you first showed them? Or did you show your family or friends your films, and how did they react to it?
저는 이번 영화 말고도 다른 것들을 많이 촬영을 했었는데 부모님은 아직까지 한 번도 보신 적은 없고요. 아마 제가 남자를 좋아하는 것도 아실지 모르실지도 잘 모르겠고, 친구들은 이번 영화를 봤었는데 다들 좀 평소에 제가 알던 모습이랑 낯선 모습이라고도 말을 해주는 친구들도 있었고, 그냥 되게 너답다라고 말해주는 친구도 있었고, 아니면은 좀 일하는 참교 좀 보기 힘들다라고 말하는 친구들도 있었던 것 같습니다.
So for now, I have films, several films, but I haven't shown it to my parents, and my parents don't even know that I like boys. But from my friends, I showed some of the films to them, and for this film, Twins, they think that the character is very similar to him, but some of them think that it's a very new face of him. So there are quite a few different comments about it.
And then for Alexander?
I'm not close with my father, but the rest of my family who had seen the film had a pretty emotional reaction just because they've had a front row seat to my story and my life, obviously. And then with friends, again, like most of them know all of these things about me, but I think seeing them in the context of a movie makes it feel a little more real, or like, especially like I wasn't out as a teenager. I didn't come out until later in life, so I think my friends were able to assess those parts of myself by watching it play back on screen. And then as far as audiences, it's been a bit surprising just because I thought that I was just making like a gay film, a gay Middle Eastern film. But at certain festivals, like I remember there was this straight white guy who came up to me after the festival after the film, feeling so emotional because he was reflecting on his relationship with his own father. And then I started to understand my film as a queer film, but also like a film that explores parent-child relationships that have been estranged or strained. So that was enlightening to see, and see like another life being taken on by the film.
Maybe specifically for Joshua, so I assume your friends here really support you. How about your family? Did they see it? How did they respond?
My problem with the films that I want to make, the stories that I write, it's mostly about my career experience that I'm still starting to explore, but I haven't come out yet to my family. So
come out to your family yet?
So okay. Until we release the film, they don't know, and I just let it because I have no choice but to release the film because we have already made it. Then one day I just went back to my hometown and my family. We haven't talked about my film that's making rounds already online. They saw it, and I also talk about my queerness through the films. They have saw it online, and we haven't talked about my queerness up until this day. But I think just going back there and just savoring the atmosphere, I believe they have accepted it, even we haven't talked to it up until now. So I think that's coming out in the Philippines mostly. The coming out is not really much of a thing. I have heard stories that their family just knew, and them just working around how they will be treated once their families have felt that their kid is queer. So on my end, I think releasing a queer film first before them knowing is a good thing, because what I felt is even my child is gay, at least he's making something out of it that's good, because filmmaking in our country is sort of a spectacle, and parents become proud when they see their kids becoming something. Seeing me going to a festival, I think that helped. So in a nutshell as well, coming out is easier when you have something to compensate for it. So it's kind of sad that you need something to compensate with your queerness, but that's what we need to work on in our culture. We really have to become sort of an achiever for us to be fully accepted. So for me, my coming out through my film is quite beautiful. So that's my story.
Beautiful. At least you had this moment, right? And maybe we'll give one last final question to Chang-Yu Kim. So this is about, BL is about intimacy. That scene they had was very intimate, right? So how did you prepare for the intimate scenes between you and your co-star?
사실 스킨십이야 그냥 입술 갖다 대고 아니면은 그냥 키스하고 그랬는데, 이제 아까 극중에서 민철이와 창규가 키스를 한참 하다가 민호가 들어왔는데도 아예 키스에 정신 팔려서 민호가 들어온 것도 못 알아채는 장면이 있었는데, 뭔가 처음에 그걸 대본을 받았을 때 와, 이거를 얼마나 빠져있으면은 사람이 문 열고 들어왔는데도 그걸 모를까 라는 생각을 했었어가지고, 뭔가 진짜 사람이 들어도 모를 정도로 키스를 해보자 라는 그런 흥분도를 올리는데 조금 힘들었던 것 같아요. 그렇지 않고서는 저조차도 납득을 못 시키는 상황이었어서 뭔가 내가 진짜 너무 지금 상황에 흥분해가지고 진짜 사람이 들어와도 모를 정도구나 라는 그 감정을 끌어올리는 게 조금 더 힘들었던 것 같아요.
In those scenes with skinship, I think that it is quite easy for me to do, like we just have to like kiss each other and touch each other. But in one of the scenes where Minho came in and the two of them are on the bed, like doing the skinship. When he read the script, he could not like convince himself that the two can be that into the sex, and can't even like figure out that somebody came in the room. So in that scene, he especially think about how can he make that convincing.
So the kiss was not awkward then? Maybe the first time.
그 키스신 찍기 전에 그 배우님하고 했던 말이 저희 키스신 때문에 NG 안 나게 진짜 그냥 막말로 진짜 더러워 보여도 일단은 서로 격렬하게 해볼까요? 라고 했던 것 같아요.
In the kiss scenes, they try to they talk about it and try to not make any NGs. So they think that even if it might feel like they are doing too much, they still should do it, like do more and more intimate in the kiss scenes.
All right, thank you very much for sharing. So we've heard many different perspectives throughout Asia. So they took us traveling basically throughout Asia. But coming back to our home, we have representatives from the Hong Kong boy love scene. We actually have a boy love scene in Hong Kong. Did you know that? So my friend Bowie is here with his co-star to promote their film. Yes, yes. Hi Bowie. And come. Sorry, I forgot your name. Yes. Nice to meet you. Okay, so maybe you can share with us so that we can let the whole world know and the other Hong Kong audience so that we have a boy love scene in Hong Kong.
講返廣東話先。May I speak in Cantonese？首先我哋俾啲掌聲咁多位好出色嘅電影人啦、電影演員啦，同埋香港同電影展先。咁呢個環節好好嘅，因為同電影展留咗少少時間俾我哋去做一啲簡單嘅介紹啦。因為嚟緊有一啲 BL 微電影嘅作品啦，香港本土嘅作品想分享俾大家嘅。我而家俾個咪我另一位演員阿 Alan 講咗先。Hello， 大家好，各位導演、前輩朋友，大家好，我係 Alan， 我叫陳少麟。咁我除咗係一位演員咧，亦都係今年2025年嘅樂壇新人係啦咁樣。咁首先喺度 thank you 大家嘅時間啦，咁亦都好多謝大會香港同志影展俾咗個機會我同阿煲兒喺度介紹一下我哋嚟緊嘅新嘅微電影啦咁樣。咁今次我同煲兒合作嘅嗰套戲名係《男孩還愛我嗎》係啦，咁咧其實就係講述一個即係個唔同男士啦，經歷到佢哋一啲情況啦，無論家庭啊或者感情嘅情況啦咁樣。咁我同煲兒同埋另一位演員 Jason 咧都會有一啲複雜嘅關係咁樣係啦，咁就會有啲事情發生嘅咁樣咯。咁就下先咩講係啦，我個角色咧叫阿 Tim， 咁咧其實就係本身對性取向有少少疑惑嘅一個男仔啦咁樣。咁喺劇入邊咧，其實都表達咗而家香港好多作為 BL 嘅一啲朋友啦面對嘅一啲問題咁樣嘅，咁所以都非常呼籲到時大家可以去睇下我哋嘅嗰套合作嘅微電影啦咁樣。咁男孩還愛我嗎呢套微電影咧，其實嗰個預告片就已經喺YouTube 啦、Instagram 啦已經有㗎啦，咁就會分咗2集上下集去 推出嘅，一集分別係9月18號，一集就下集就係10月2號推出咁樣。咁啊，希望大家到時可以去不是一個人嘅 YouTube channel 就睇男孩玩去我媽呢套嘅微電影咁樣咯。咁就 thank you 晒大家先，咁就我將個時間交俾都兒去做一個翻譯。
Please let me recap in English. Hello everyone, I'm Wei Guan, the screenwriter and one of the actors of the BL short film Boy, Do You Still Love Me? First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to our dear Hong Kong Lesbian and Gay Film Festival for giving us the opportunity to promote our latest BL short film. It is our big honor to be able to present our BL short film in front of all outstanding international directors and actors. BL short film Boy, Do You Still Love Me is the third BL YouTube videos that produced by the YouTube channel Not Alone Production. Our first BL web series, Boys, released in 2020, and our second BL short film, Boys Christmas, released in 2024, have both received lots of positive feedbacks thanks to the audience. The upcoming BL short film, Boy, Do You Still Love Me? Is a story about a boy's growth, a boy's sexual identity, and relationship between a couple. My character is Charlie. In the story, I have a boyfriend who loves me very, very much. While he's away on an exchange program, I meet up with my high school friend team, and conflicts are happening after this meeting. The BL short film is rich in BL plots, including sweet, intimate, and emotional scenes. Besides me, I would like to introduce to you about the other two actors. First, Jason Ler, who once participated in a reality show on TV, and the second one, Alan Chan, a new talented singer in 2025. We are also honored to have Eaton Hong Kong to be one of our cooperation this time. We used one of the hotel rooms as our filming location, so the visuals of our BL short film are incredibly beautiful. And the trailer of the BL short film, Boy, Do You Still Love Me? Is now available on the Not Alone Production Instagram page. Furthermore, we will release part 1 of the BL short film on September 19, and part 2 of the BL short film on October 2. If you want to stay up to date to our BL short film, please subscribe to the YouTube channel Not Alone Production, this QR code. And then thank you again to the Hong Kong Lesbian and Gay Film Festival. We hope all the films that screened at the festival this year will be full house. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bowie and Alan. So just to note, everything has English subtitles, so you'll have no problem there. And one interesting fact, I almost became part of this production team, but due to time schedule conflict, couldn't make it. So maybe we can receive questions from the audience. Any audience members would like to ask questions? No? Oh, actually, speaking of questions, yeah, we can have your question, but we can continue at the Boy Love Party tonight. So we'll have one question, unfortunately, due to time constraints, but we can continue the conversations. We will have a Boy Love Party tonight at Fa Gai. So this is the latest gay club at Lan Kwai Fong. So you can have the opportunity to speak with our lovely directors and actors. So it's your question, please. Yes.
Maybe I'll start again. Hi, so my question is for Alex. Could you speak a little bit about your decision to focus on the emotional impacts of estrangement on the protagonist? So we see the lost time, we see the disconnect with family, but we didn't actually see what some might call the climax. We didn't see the falling out. That is an intentional decision. Why did you present it on this way?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because while I was presenting the film to friends, that was sort of the running question as well, was what was the falling out. And I think because it was so autobiographical and based on my own experiences, I didn't necessarily have those answers for myself. So I think when I was putting that on screen, it also ended up just sort of being like there was a bit of a gray area or a blur around it. And I chose to just embrace that because I feel like sometimes those answers aren't always necessarily there for us, and I think that a viewer can kind of maybe bring their own experiences with their parents to that sort of scenario that maybe enhances their experience and leaves it a little more open.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on that note, thank you very much. See you at the Boy Light Party tonight. Will every one of you be going there? Just have a show of hands. Let's commit. Let's raise our hands. Yes, we are going. Yes, to support our lovely friends over here. Welcome them with lots of hospitality, right? Okay, so let's have our dinner and see you later at Central. Okay, the club is called Fa Gai. Okay, F-A space G-A-I. There'll be popcorn, lots of drinks. Okay, see you. And watch the Mirage de Noir. Invite your friends to watch the second screening of what might have been. Yes, okay. All right, see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.